So my research is on the outlook of a doomsday scenario because of different background factors. So first, a definition of terms. A doomsday scenario is a potentially world-ending event that possesses a significant threat to the prosperity of human life. We'll see that word talked about a lot throughout here. So according to the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists, it's 90 seconds to midnight, and we're at higher risk than ever of destroying the world with our own technology. The most recent move was in early 2023, where the hand was adjusted from 100 seconds to 90 seconds. This was the first move since early 2020, when the clock was changed from 2 minutes to 100 seconds. People everywhere seem to agree that we've verged closer and closer to wiping out humanity in a cataclysmic event of our own creation. Since the dawn of the nuclear age in July of 1945, there's been an elevated threat of global annihilation, due in no doubt to our own development. Prior to the creation of nuclear weapons, there were not any notable concerns, and certainly none of the same scale. In an article published by the Los Angeles Times, it stated that a nuclear conflict involving less than 3% of the world's stockpiles could kill a third of the world's population within 2 years, according to a new international study led by scientists at Rutgers University. A larger nuclear conflict between Russia and the United States could kill 3/4 of the world's population in the same time frame, according to the research published on Monday by Nature. Nuclear weapons, though, are no longer the only concern. More recently, topics like climate change, overpopulation, and artificial intelligence takeover have begun to dominate news headlines alongside nuclear weapons and join them on people's lists of world-ending concerns. According to the World Wildlife Foundation, humans and wild animals face new challenges for survival because of climate change. More frequent and intense drought, storms, heat waves, rising sea levels, melting glaciers, and warming oceans can directly harm animals, destroy the places they live, and wreak havoc on people's livelihoods and communities. Additionally, 37% of Americans believe that AI developments are more cause for concern than excitement, and only 18% believe they might be more exciting than concerning, according to Pew Research Center. There's an alarmingly high amount of concern regarding the potentiality of a doomsday event. We live in a world where a large number of people fear that the end is near. What factors most directly impact this belief? The research question that guided this study was what background factors affect a person's outlook on a potential doomsday scenario. The objective of this study are to determine what background factors have an impact on a person's outlook, to see how different demographics of people have different outlooks on a doomsday scenario, and to determine if there's any correlation between a person's age or level of education and their outlook on a doomsday scenario. The significance of this study is that in light of recent events, global tensions are taking the spotlight once again, and this issue has been thrust once forth into the center of the media. Additionally, people from different generations have wildly different experiences and perceptions of a doomsday scenario due to their own experiences. How does this affect the person's beliefs? Now for the literature review. First is the return of doomsday, the new nuclear arms race, and how Washington and Moscow can stop it. This article researches the feelings about the nuclear arms race during the Civil War and discusses methods in which in the Cold War and discusses methods in which tensions can be settled. This article helps to establish credibility for the relevance of this topic. In this article, the author, Ernest Moniz and Sam Nunn, they conducted an analysis of global politics to see what would be the most effective way to curb the. I should not have tried to go for memorization.
No, don't worry about it. Just do what you got.
Okay.
Make changes for next time.
Yeah. The second source is the global effects of nuclear winter, science and anti-nuclear protests in the United States and the Soviet Union during the 1980s. This article takes a direct look at the effects of an all-out nuclear war and how people feel about the possibility of a nuclear winter. It discusses the widespread anti-war protests in the 1980s. Additionally, this article talks specifically on how a nuclear war could wipe out Earth and what effects it would have on our civilization via a nuclear winter. The last article is Are We Doomed by Meyer Herman. This article discusses the idea that every civilization that has existed has come to an end. It takes a look at the possible causes and the end of our civilization, and if we are headed rapidly towards a doomsday event. It asks the question, Why should our civilization be any different than other ones that have already suffered a deadly fate? Now, for my methodology, I used an anonymous survey to collect data to answer my research question. The main purpose was to try and find a correlation between age and a person's attitude towards a potentially world-ending event. This was done by gathering responses to questions about a person's attitude towards a doomsday scenario, as well as gathering background information at the end of the survey. The first section, or the general survey section, has Likert scale questions like, I believe that there is a present threat of a doomsday scenario, or select all that apply questions, including which of the following factors do you believe likely to cause a doomsday scenario? The background section gathered information like age, education, race, ethnicity, as well as gender. These factors will be compared against answers to the survey questions in an attempt to find correlations between different factors and different answers. I distributed the survey to students at my school personally, as well as asking teachers and other faculty members to distribute it to their students or students that they're involved with. I also distributed the survey to my parents, friends, friends of friends, and mutual friends of my parents. This allowed me to gather responses from people of varying age ranges, which is the main factor that I analyzed. Following data collection, the results were used to discover strong correlations between ages and a person's attitude towards a doomsday scenario exists. Other background factors were also compared to see if responses vary due to other factors, including their level of education. Now for the results. The first figure depicts the percentage of respondents who selected a certain doomsday scenario that they believed likely by their age group. Unfortunately, the age group 19 to 25 did not have enough data to include an accurate depiction. The graph on the right depicts the participants who selected factors based on age, and the graph on the left depicts how participants selected factors based on education. Neither seems to depict a strong correlation. The implications of the study is that no strong correlation between age and a person's outlook on a doomsday scenario exists. Additionally, no strong correlation exists between a person's level of education and their outlook on a doomsday scenario. The claim cannot be made that this data is proof of any kind of causation. However, further research could prove that other factors, including elements within a participant's age, including experience, age influence, worldview, etc., could cause a significant influence. Limitations of the study were that there were factors within age that could affect a person's belief, as addressed earlier. However, this was not accounted for in the study. Additionally, there was only a small respondent pool, which does not accurately represent the beliefs of the general population. Additionally, some responses had to be eliminated because the respondents did not take the survey seriously, and therefore their responses were invalid. This study opens the door for further research as what elements within a person's age, including their life experience, their age influence, worldview, etc., actually change a person's belief. It is clear that age is not the factor that determines this. However, there are certain factors that come along with age that could have a strong impact. These factors open the door for further research. Additionally, it would be interesting to see if the main source of a person's news has a large impact on their outlook on a doomsday scenario. People who get news from more credible sources are more likely to have a more realistic view of world threats, whereas people who get news from incredible sources like social media are more likely to believe in more unlikely theories.